We are starting pool play of the Ranked Royale. These are the 8 teams who are participating. We saw Team Killers and Team Toxic qualify yesterday. Today, we are playing out all of Group A. The top 2 teams in both groups advance to the playoffs, where there will be a semifinals and grand final to determine the winner. We are following Team Oski today and starting with Team Oski with Atow versus Team Toxic and Mikeboy. Chat, here we go. We have Oski and Atow versus Toxic and Mikeboy. This is a best of 5 2v2 show match at the beginning of the Ranked Royale. If this happens to be the first video that you caught of the Ranked Royale, maybe the first stream. These players qualified for the tournament by finishing highly rated in Ranked 2v2. The season started about 10, 11, maybe about 12 days ago. And Atow and Toxic, or sorry, Oski and Toxic both grinded into the top 10 in EU in order to make it to the tournament today. Oski picking his teammate Atow, who I think also would have qualified had, Oski not done it for them, being the higher rated player. Toxic picking up Mikeboy. And certainly Oski and Atow come in as the favorites in this 2v2. We've had Oski and Atow on a few different times. I know we had him against Team Secret around the time of the previous LAN. And I think we had him against at least a couple other. I know we had him against Dig. And Oski and Atow looked untouchable. I think they swept Dig and they swept Secret. And I want to say we got them in more. We definitely tried to get them in more 2v2s. Because Oski and Atow are willing to take on the world. I think they consider themselves the best duo. I don't think they expect anybody to be able to take them down. They certainly are willing to take on any challenge. So this is not a bad place to do it. They came in rated number 1 in EU. Zen, of course, is rated 1 on the leaderboards, and had he been playing, his team would have been the first seed. But instead, it was going to be Oski and Atow. But so far, haven't been able to prove why they have that first seed. Toxic and Mikeboy were part of the qualifying tournament, where 4 teams were reduced to 2, and they came in through the lower bracket. So they come in as the last seed. Technically, this should be the heaviest favored matchup we start with. Oski and Atow versus Toxic and Mikeboy. Oski just a side flip. Mikeboy is going to end up own goaling it. Did Zen say why he isn't playing? He didn't clarify, I don't think. I think all he said was he's going to skip this one. He played in the last Ranked Royale. I don't think we should be worried about him not playing in tournaments in the future, but he does have his first major coming up. Maybe didn't want to distract himself with 2s. Who knows? Anybody can have any reason. And I never really dig too deep. If players don't want to play, they don't have to play. Atow and Oski. Their team play in 2v2 is a sight to behold. We haven't really seen it yet, but I'm going to go ahead and predict we do see it here in the future. I feel like when I've watched them play in the past, almost every single goal is assisted, but Atow, he is not going to need any help at all, as he takes this ball away from Toxic, says, hey, thanks for setting up the dribble for me. I'll get a nice reset and use it to finish crossbar down. My goodness, Atow. Atwo? Wait, is there a typo somewhere? A couple of different people have said ATWO. Is there a typo in Wikipedia, in the title, in the prediction? Oh, okay. I haven't checked the prediction. Oh my goodness, Atow. Just going crazy. Some mod is going to have to confess to making that mistake. Atwo. That's just what we call him here on the channel. Because every time you're watching him, you say Atwo. Oh, that would have been a brutal read if he was able to pre-jump the clear and dunk it right back in. Oski's going to try and clear out the net. Atow gets a ton of power on his pinch. Yo, the Fun Buns. Thank you for the $10 donation. Up to $135 times 2. Somebody do that math. Oski gets a third goal as he steals the ball away from Toxic, and then I believe demos Mikeboy in the process of setting this shot up. Mikeboy and Toxic have yet to find any sort of offense so far. But this is actually going to be it. Mikeboy, he didn't even believe. He didn't believe that Atow would make a mistake like that. And it's understandable why. And that's just one of the ways that being as talented as Oski and Atow are can benefit you even more. Everybody assumes the most of you. Doesn't capitalize on mistakes like that. Oski and Atow are making me look silly, though. I have to admit. I talked about how almost every single goal I've watched them do together when they've show matched in the past, and now it's just ISO plays. Oski and Atow both just take the ball all by themselves and find ways to score. But right now they haven't need to use teamwork as they're 4-0. Toxic's going to back off, let Mikeboy take it, and Mikeboy gets demoed in the process. Why is the donation pool 1,000 and not 4,000? I'll update it. If it gets to 1,000, I can push it even farther, but I wanted to see the green bar, and I could see it when I reduced it to 1,000. But once we get there, I'll put it out. It's the limit that I will match has not changed. Mikeboy maybe with a chance to put on its first goal at the last second. See one go through. Not able to. So Team Liquid dominate in game 1. The boost meters in 2v2 are collective team boost. So if both players are at 100, that'll be the only time that it fully fills up. But you'll get a general idea of the collective team boost without cluttering too much. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I see the little bars that show the team boost, I mean, it's very informative, and I like that part, but I just like a really clean interface. Like, as clean as possible. So this idea to include all the teams boost together on one was something that I kind of liked. Especially because we normally do 1v1. So 1v1, it's just, you know, that one player's boost. Mikeboy trying to wave dash back onto the ball. Ends up demoing Atow in the process, but also didn't get to make the play he wanted. Toxic and Mikeboy get one of their first shots of the series so far, it feels like. I didn't check how many shots they got credited with, but I'm not sure I remember a single time that Oski and Atow should have felt worried in the previous game. I don't know why, but 1v1 is so tilting for you. I think 1v1 is tilting for just about everybody. Toxic on the board. They saved their goal to a time that it will give them a lead. Just let Oski and Atow have the first game. And that's a great shot to put his team on the board, taking advantage of a missed clear. As I think it was Oski sent it to the ceiling. And there was definitely an opportunity. I would say the biggest opportunity in the first game was that miss by Oski that Mikeboy wasn't expecting. It might have been Atow. I forget which team member it was, but the net was free. Had Team Toxic just not been believers. Atow, his shot saved by Mikeboy. Oski's back up to the ball to try and control it. He wanted to make the ball heading back to the blue half on his own terms, but my goodness. He didn't really stop the shots from coming. Luckily, Atow had respawned and makes a couple miraculous saves. Oski has a chance to put on a banger of a shot. And that's exactly what he does. Atow put the team on his back defensively. And Oski says, I'll reward you, my friend, by slotting this top left. My goodness. Lots of you didn't know what that bar was. Oh, interesting. I'll explain it as many times as we need. I think hopefully it's somewhat intuitive. You know, I think it's a little bit clearer in ones when you can kind of realize it's one person's boost, but it's just team boost. So you can see Oski and Atow basically completely full as a team, which which means they're very dangerous. Atow uses his boost to go to the ceiling. Can't get over the top of the pre-jump. I didn't even see there was a bar till now. See, that's the thing. That's kind of how I like it, though. I like the overlay to be very minimal and just clean gameplay to watch. If you guys remember my previous overlay, it was just the names and like nothing else. And when I got this one commissioned, that was my big stress. You know, they showed me all the different features. You can do all this cool stuff. You can, I'm like, I just kind of want it as simple as possible. I want to keep the clean, simple feel, even though it's going to be a automated overlay. So this is what we went with. Shango, thank you for the 6 months of Prime, by the way. Yeah, the players are far good enough. The overlay does not need to do any heavy lifting. Oski can't get back to the ball. Or Toxic interrupts the play. Does seem like Liquid have been on offense. That was an incredibly hard pinch. And it's just been mistimed. I mean, both of the Team Liquid players haven't been able to get boost and make a play on net at the same time. So even though they've done well to kind of create opportunities for each other, it's been at times when the other has to rotate out, reset on boost. So Toxic and Mikeboy surviving. Toxic slam to the back wall, nothing to follow up, but it does fall to Mikeboy, who's going to go to the ceiling. Can he get back to it? No, too strong of a first touch. Oh my goodness. Look at the placement from Toxic. Atow clears the ball to the wall, and Toxic right off the wall into the crossbar, down into the ground, and it bounces in. My goodness, that's what you have to do apparently if you want to score against this Liquid duo. Oh, the game number in best of is really small. I actually don't blame people for not seeing that. Atow, reset dribble, not able to get the back corner boost. Oski's gonna have to pop off here in the final moments, and this air dribble isn't on target. At 50 down, Atow decides to rush to the ball, and it will pinch to the ceiling and back down. Toxic and Mikeboy, a great turnaround from an empty game number one. They tie the series as we head to game 3. Hey Fear, who do you hope to win the major? You know, I was thinking about that recently. I think I mentioned it on stream already. But as you do show matches like this over a long time, obviously I start to become partial to the 1v1 players. But now we're going to have more 2s players in here, and you just start to become partial to almost everybody. You know, there's very rarely any teams that you wouldn't want to see win. That's a nice save by Atow. I think everybody knows that I'll probably be most partial to version 1 and or Daniel, wherever he ends up, for a long time, because the way I see it, he essentially made it possible for me to do what I do today by playing on the stream as much as he did. But there's tons of players like that now. I think the team I feel the biggest connection to is probably Optic right now. I think Reddles and AJ have been, you know, a couple of the players that I've been closest to. I'm not like close with any players. We're not chatting, you know, when I'm not streaming or anything, but... Oh yeah, Rule 1. Yeah, Rule 1. Okay. You're right. I was thinking of... I was thinking of only NA. Yeah, Rule 1 is another team. But does it count? I mean, I would be Rule 1 fan if I wasn't, you know, also their commentator, but it feels like it becomes the boring answer once you're also the commentator. Atow, he is more than willing to go for pogos. And even though he doesn't score with it, it creates the setup that allows Oski to slam in this touch off the wall. Toxic was trying to dive. Probably didn't get the play he would have liked to. Sunless says you're fired. Yeah, I mean, that's understandable. How can you not root for Optic? Yeah, AJ and Reynolds and the old squad too. I'm sure Optic making it and some other teams not also raises the average age of the LAN, which is always good for us ancient people. Atow, I don't think that touch was on target when he made a play on it, and he dropped it back to Mikeboy. Who do you think will win Major? Chat, there's only one answer, right? Does anybody have a different answer? Oh my goodness, Oski. Can't leave anybody on the Liquid team alone with one defender. And Oski shows you why. Yeah, I thought we all agree. Power, right? I mean, it's power. I don't understand how anybody could have any other team than power. One of the first team play attempts from Atow and Oski. Please do more of those so I don't look completely ridiculous for suggesting that is the way you two like to play. Oski to himself off the ceiling. Reset. Double. Floats in front of the net, but Toxic is there. Am I going to upload the games from Hootie Hoo? You know, Hootie Hoo might upload the games from Hootie Hoo. If he doesn't, maybe. I could ask him if I could upload them to my second channel where I'm uploading some of the qualifier games. Any of the games that don't go onto the main channel, you can see at !Feer Plus. So I could add Hootie Hoo's games there, but he might want to upload them himself, which he's totally allowed to if he wants to. How far does Rule 1 have to go for Mina to get 2 spots? Well, Rule 1 already had... I mean, Mina already gets 2 from the wild card, so they're trying to get a 3rd. And how far they need to get for a 3rd is somewhere like in the top 6 range, maybe top 4. What a save! Oh my goodness, Atow. That was insane. Toxic and Mikeboy trying to clean out the net. I thought for sure it was going to be a roll-in. But a ridiculous save. Keeps Team Liquid in the lead. Atow backing off, declining, taking a 50 at the midfield. Mikeboy on target. But Atow has recovered. And not the best of touches by Atow. He actually chips the ball to a shootable position for Mikeboy, but he has had the net so well covered in this series. I think Rule 1 is already locked in for Worlds. Right now, they're just trying to win a World spot for Twisted Minds, I believe. Atow, I mean, you can't let any one of these players have space and just try and shadow defend. I mean, if you're gonna try and shadow defend against the Liquid guys, you're gonna be in trouble so often. It's such a smooth catch and flick by Atow. And a 3-1 lead. You know Rule 1 is playing in the Saudi LAN? Oh yeah, they're playing right now? Actually, where's that being streamed? There's a Saudi LAN going on today and tomorrow. I know because the players couldn't play in the tournament if they were going to have to play today. But I don't know where it's streamed. And it's not on Wikipedia, I don't think. Sometimes they can be harder to find. Atow puts his team up 2-1 against Team Toxic as we head to game number 4. Rule 1 want to get into the group stage? Yeah, I think Rule 1 have to do really well. Rule 1 have to pretty much get top 4, maybe even higher, because they, in order to pass up the Falcons, they have to get a lot of points, and they have to qualify as well, something like that. I can't remember what's easier. Whether it's getting Mina another spot is easier or overtaking the Falcons as the 1 seed from Mina is easier. In terms of how many points they need. I was thinking about it around the time that their regional finished, but it's been a while since I've looked at it. Oh my goodness, how is that a save? Oski, what is going on? How is Team Liquid not down right now? Okay, great team play by Mikeboy and Toxic. Somehow, they were keeping the ball out. Mikeboy recognized he shouldn't shoot. That the pre-jump save from Oski would have covered the net, so he just taps it to Toxic to finish. With top 6, they're in main event. A Mina team is, or they are. Because they could win a spot for Falcons if Falcons stay ahead of them in points. Isn't EU probably going to eliminate themselves in top 8 at the major? Maybe. Who knows? You know what would be wild? Is if NA just randomly dominated. I feel like... Oh my goodness, Atow. It would make no sense to us. I feel like even North America is like finally looking in the mirror and being like, guys, we might not be as good. You know? And so, of course, this will be the land that NA then just randomly does better. And now we all have to go, wait a second. Not OCE to dominate? Royale is only 16 points behind Falcons, and they have 8 major points safe. So they just need to get like top 8 to overtake Falcons maybe, but then like top 6 or higher or 4 in order to get Mina an additional spot. Not even close. EU way greater than, I mean, that's my point, you know. That's basically community opinion right now. Although it's kind of been that way since the dawn of time, man. I've been watching Rocket League a lot, and everybody keeps trying to say NA and EU are the same. And to be fair, I was actually surprised when I saw the records, the head-to-head records, that NA had won a few more tournaments than I thought. I thought like EU won basically all of them. But they do have the overall record by a healthy margin, I'm pretty sure. What do you think about Royale's bracket, Crew, and then BDS or Gen G? I think they could win those. I think they should win Crew. I would have them winning against Crew. And then... Oh, Oski from the pass from Atow. Here's that team play I remember seeing. Such a great pop, and Oski is there. So smooth to convert on his handed opportunity from his teammate. You're a Royale 1 fan, but Crew could be a 50-50. I have Royale 1. And I think Royale 1 could beat Gen G. It might be tougher against BDS. Oski going solo this time as he fakes the musty. Toxic prepping on the back wall for the flick that never comes, and Oski gets a free tap in as it bounces off the crossbar. Infield pass from Toxic. Oski breaks it up. Team Toxic, they're going to need some offense and need it here soon as Atow extends it even more. Able to control the ball. It's just going to be a hook shot. Timed well above the early challenge and before the rotation back. We should try and bring Darku in. I think we've had Darku on at least a couple different show matches. Great opportunity right here for Mikeboy and Toxic. Can they convert? Oski pre-jumping. Toxic able to slot it. This is what I'm talking about. You could tell Atow got nothing out of his dribble, and Mikeboy and Toxic both at 100%. So they were able to get a clean start against 1.5 defenders, since Atow did make it back, but he wasn't going to have a good save. So it's definitely a high-value opportunity for Team Toxic, and they did convert, and Liquid's not going to go to the kickoff. With a minute left to go. Toxic won't be able to get back to this. So Mikeboy has to back off. Atow to the corner. Another dribble where he doesn't get much. Oski making the right read that he needed a challenge now, that if he were to turn back and shadow, he was again going to have to defend against 2 players. Whereas there was briefly a window to take the ball away early. Toxic could get back to the ball off the reset. Atow gets a reset of his own off the backboard, and if Oski was around, seemed like it would have been free, but he's a bit slow to the ball. Toxic makes it back in time. 25 seconds. Atow pops it up for Oski. He's going to pre-jump it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, no. We got robbed. We got absolutely robbed of one of the best twos clips I feel like I've seen in a while. That's too bad. That was so close to greatness. Oh my goodness. That's what we were hoping to see when we decided to watch Team Oski all day today. But it is going to be a 3-1 as they take down Team Toxic in the first round of the Ranked Royale.